The Saturday Night Live alum was confronted with a dozen versions of himself in this sketch from the sole episode the cast alum hosted. They say to write what you know, and that's advice Adam Sandler has apparently taken to heart. When Sandler hosted Saturday Night Live for his first and only time on May 4, 2019, he starred in a sketch called Sandler Family Reunion. Nearly the entire season 44 cast, along with musical guest Shawn Mendes and guest stars Jimmy Fallon and Kristen Wiig, appeared as various members of the Sandler family, and every last one did their best impression of one of the SNL alum's many characters. Due to the sketch's conceit that they're actually the comedian's relatives, they're all pretty annoyed that their likeness has been stolen. But they're happy to see Mr. Hollywood, aka Sandler himself. As he arrives to the reunion at the top of the sketch, an excited server, Chris Redd, reveals he's a fan. "If you don't mind me asking, how do you come up with all your characters and stuff?" The server asks. I don't know, they kinda just come to me," Sandler tells him. SNL Season 44 cast showcased their Adam Sandler impressions, with Leslie Jones channeling Happy Gilmore's Chubbs. In fact, the reunion is a parade of Sandlers, a sandstorm, as Sandler jokes in the sketch, full of cousins who obviously inspired movies like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, The Waterboy, The Wedding Singer, Little Nicky and more. Pete Davidson takes the mic as Little Nicky to acknowledge the special guest of honor, and the dangers of speaking too openly around him. "We're so happy to have Cousin Adam with us this year," Nicky says. "But watch what you say around him, because you might end up in one of his movies." Cue the arrival of Melissa Villaseñor, who is obviously Bobby Boucher from The Waterboy, followed by Leslie Jones as Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. Jones paid lovely tribute to the late Carl Weathers' role as the optimistic, fake-handed golf mentor, whose 2024 death forced Sandler to make major changes to the Happy Gilmore 2 script. "It's a little in the hips," Jones's character says. Kristen Wiig played Adam Sandler's mom in the sketch. Sandler's mother, played by Wiig, proves just how accurate the track "Oh Mom" from Sandler's 1993 comedy album They're All Gonna Laugh at You really was by only loudly and dramatically screaming, "No! They're all gonna laugh at you." Meanwhile, Fallon played Sandler's dad as an exaggerated version of Sandler's own persona, announcing that he's going to sing the Sandler family song, which he wrote 70 years ago. Sandler protests, and we soon learn why. It turns out he stole his famous Hanukkah song from his own father. Sandler's longtime collaborator Alan Covert appeared in the sketch. Gathering the entire family together for a picture, Sandler says Covert, "Snap us." Because the photographer is actually played by Grandma's Boy star Alan Covert, Sandler's longtime friend and collaborator. Perhaps the best callback, however, is when Mendes, dressed as Billy Madison, stands right next to Sandler and looks at him for just a little bit too long. "Stop looking at me, Sean," Sandler warns, "a la Billy Madison, stop looking at me, Swan." It's a great look back at Sandler's comedic genius ahead of Happy Gilmore 2. Watch Sandler Family Reunion from Season 44, Episode 19 above, and stream every season of Saturday Night Live on Peacock anytime. When Adam Sandler hosted Saturday Night Live that spring night, nobody knew just how far back he'd reach into his bag of misfit characters. The audience had come for the jokes, the songs, the silly voices, but they weren't ready for what would happen when Adam Sandler, the real guy, stood face to face with the ghosts of his own comedic past. It was midway through the show, after his acoustic bit about Chris Farley had tugged on heartstrings, that the lights flickered and the band struck up a goofy, playful tune. The camera swept over a suburban living room, where Adam, playing himself, was nervously straightening a cheap tie. He turned to the camera with that familiar lopsided grin. "Hey, everybody," he said. "Welcome to the Sandler Family Reunion. It's where all my relatives come together, plus a few special guests." The doorbell rang. Adam opened it to find an overly familiar face in a too-tight blazer and khakis. It was Billy Madison, still looking like a 27-year-old man-child forced to repeat grades. "Hey, buddy," Billy shouted, leaping forward and hugging Adam like an old camp counselor. "Check it out. I brought snack packs." He held up a shopping bag overflowing with pudding cups. Adam blinked, half smiling. "Billy, it's good to see you. Still living at home, huh?" Billy didn't answer, too busy tearing into a pudding cup with a plastic spoon. He slurped it down noisily. "Who needs college when you got these bad boys, huh?" He gave Adam an exaggerated wink. Before Adam could reply, another knock came. This time the door swung open to reveal a gruff voice and a hockey stick tapping against the doorframe. "Hey, Happy's here," someone shouted from the back of the house. It was Happy Gilmore. Well, technically, it was a cast member dressed up as Happy Gilmore, but the backwards cap, Bruins jersey, and unshaven jawline were unmistakable. "Hey, Shooter McGavin still a jerk?" Adam asked, cracking up. Happy stepped inside, giving Billy a brotherly slap on the back that sent pudding flying. "Only when he's awake," Happy muttered. He dropped his golf bag right onto Adam's foot, prompting Adam to let out a yelp that quickly turned into that classic Sandler squeal. "Great," Adam said, limping. "So my reunions turned into a daycare for my movie alter egos. That's cool, that's cool." Billy slurped another pudding cup and grinned. "We should totally do a slip and slide later." Happy nodded. "After we beat up Bob Barker again. He still owes me $20. The living room suddenly felt too small. In the corner, Adam's real-life cousins, played by the current SNL cast, gawked as Billy started doing an interpretive dance with pudding smeared on his shirt, while Happy used a lamp as an improvised golf tee. "Hey! That's my grandma's lamp," Adam protested, but it was too late. Happy's practice swing sent the lampshade flying. In the kitchen, Adam's fictional mom from Big Daddy appeared with a tray of meatballs, only to back out slowly when she saw the chaos unfolding. Meanwhile, Sandler's real mom, played by Kate McKinnon, walked in, grabbed a meatball, and said, "I always knew you'd bring weird people home, Adam." Adam pinched the bridge of his nose. "This is insane. I just wanted a normal reunion." But it wasn't done yet. The front door burst open one more time, and in strode a guy wearing an unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts, Nicky from Little Nicky, complete with a half-burnt haircut and a raspy lisp. "Hey, Dad said I could come too," Nicky wheezed, smiling wide. Adam glanced at the camera. Of course. Why wouldn't the devil's son show up? Perfectly normal. Nicky shuffled over to Billy and Happy, who were now arguing over whether you could use a hockey stick in golf or golf clubs on a slip and slide. Nicky just giggled and stuffed a meatball into his pocket for later. The real Adam Sandler clapped his hands together. "Okay, guys. Look. I love you, sort of, but this is my reunion. My actual family is here. They don't need you guys causing whatever this is." Billy pointed a pudding spoon at Adam. "Hey man, you made us. Without us, you're just Adam. The guy who sings about Hanukkah and loves basketball." Happy nodded. "He's got a point. You need us, pal." Nicky chimed in with a hissy giggle. "Yeah, we make you special, Adam." Adam looked around the room. His uncles were taking selfies with Billy, who was showing off his third-grade report card. Happy was trying to convince one of Adam's real cousins to be his caddy. Nicky had found the family dog and was sharing a meatball with it. Maybe they were right. Maybe these weird, ridiculous man-children were part of him, always had been, always would be. The audience, watching through the fourth wall, laughed and clapped. After all, who didn't love these idiots? Adam sighed, cracked a grin, and grabbed a pudding cup from Billy's bag. He raised it like a toast. "All right, fine," he said. "One pudding cup. One slip and slide. Then you guys gotta leave before the real family karaoke starts." Billy hooted. Happy whooped and pulled out a hockey stick to slap shot pudding cups across the room. Nicky just hissed gleefully and curled up on the couch with the dog. In the chaos, Adam looked into the camera one more time. That signature Sandler smirk returned. "Hey, they may be idiots. But they're my idiots." The band struck up a jazzy little outro as the camera panned out on the Sandler living room, now a war zone of pudding, broken lamps, and half-eaten meatballs. Billy and Happy were wrestling on the slip and slide Adam's cousins had set up on the hardwood floor. Nicky, bless his weird little heart, was feeding the dog a pudding cup with a plastic spoon. Over the laughter and chaos, Adam's voice echoed like a bedtime story for every 90s kid, "Don't ever grow up, folks. It's overrated." The camera faded to black just as Adam belly flopped onto the slip and slide himself, tie, pants, and all, laughing like a kid who never had to go back to school again.